Hello, welcome to CVRD 2023 budget public meeting for areas F and I, as well as the town of Lake Cowichan. My name is Chris Schumacher. I'm the manager of communications and engagement for the Cowichan Valley Regional District. I'm happy to be hosting this meeting from the territory, the traditional unceded territory of Coast Salish people. I'm joined today by my colleague Tracy Bowen, the manager of financial planning for the CVRD, who's going to lead a presentation around the overall budget with some specific slides of interest to residents of the western area of our region. If you're watching this video, it was recorded on the morning of February 10th. And you are hopefully finding out some great information or about to that will be useful in interpreting the proposed budget, which is going to be considered at a special board meeting of the CVRD board on February 23rd, which will be one of the final times the budget for the year goes before them before final adoption of the budget. If you have any questions about any of what you hear during this meeting, please send those questions or comments to an email address, which is finance@cvrd.bc.ca. And with that, I'll turn it over to Tracy to deliver the presentation.
Good morning, everyone. So I will be walking you through the 2023 budget process. So can you see the screen, Chris?
Yep.
Okay. The Cowichan Valley Regional District has 4 municipalities and 9 electoral areas. For 2023, we have 178 services. Our population has grown to 89,000. There are a number of completing challenges and expectations that the board must balance when setting the 2023 budget, including how to meet the needs of the public under increasing financial constraints, increased downloading for other levels of government, resulting in increasing pressures to provide additional services, aging infrastructure and increasing costs that exceed consumer price inflation, legislation changes and higher requirements of standard of care that put increasing cost pressures on existing services, increasing non-controllable expenditures such as hydro and insurance. The CVRD provides a variety of services to different partners, and therefore the impact of our budgeting process on each electoral area or municipality is different. For example, the cost of the average home in electoral area F, which participates in 33 functions, is a cost of $1,688.79, but the average home in the Lake Cowichan, which participates in 23 functions, is $858.14. And Area F also has 8 specified area services encompassing a variety of services such as street lighting, drainage, and fire protection. To complicate matters, some services are provided directly by the CVRD, others in partnerships with other organizations, and some take the form of grants to organizations that provide the service in that area. The CVRD does not provide education, sidewalks, curbs and gutters, roads, policing, healthcare, or highways. These are provincial services or municipality in the case of roads and policing in North Cowichan. For most of our services, taxation is allocated based on assessed value. Each member municipality or electoral area shares in calculated based on values that are provided by BC Assessment, and within the distribution between property classes. This is determined using a fixed ratio that is mandated under provincial legislation. For the 2022 budget, 38% of our budget came from requisition. The funding for each service is determined in the establishing bylaw, and with so many services, there are a wide variety of funding mixes used. We can, however, broadly categorize the main types of service funding as regional, electoral area, sub-regional, and specified area. Regional services are funded based on assessment for all 13 jurisdictions within the regional district and are typically services that benefit the entire region, such as solid waste or general government. Electoral area services are specified to the rural areas only and therefore shared by all the participating electoral areas on an assessment basis with no municipal funding participation. An example of this is community planning, where the CVRD performs this function for the electoral areas but not the municipalities. The X on the chart indicates that the entire area participates in that function, while the O is a portion of that area. Many of our services are sub-regional in nature in that they provide a service for certain areas within the CVRD, and funding is shared by those participating partners, normally on an assessment basis. An example is the Cowichan Lake Recreation. So again, in this chart, X means that everybody pays into it, O means a portion of that area pays into it. Specified areas are set up to fund services that are provided to a number of properties that do not represent the entire electoral area and are different in that these functions are established in response to petition by property owners to provide the service. A service area is established to encompass the properties that receive the service, such as street lighting or fire service. While taxation is a major component of the CVRD's revenue base, the CVRD has other revenue streams. Non-taxation revenue streams that are considered as part of the budget process include user fees and charges, permits and licensing fees, reserve funds which come from operating reserves and capital reserves, grants, and proceeds from borrowing. As mentioned, services funded with other revenue sources include the Community Health Network, municipal MFA debt, curbside garbage and recycling services, sewer, water, and some streetlight services. The current budget process is incremental, meaning that the current activities and staffing levels are considered as core and used as a baseline for the upcoming budget. This approach uses core expenditures as the basis for the preparation of the draft budget, with requests to changes to the service levels being treated as supplemental requests to the commissions and committees for their consideration. Core expenditures are defined as those that are required to maintain the current levels of staffing, service, and capital, including allocations of resources within operational budgets that do not require an increase in requisition. Supplemental requests for the purpose of budgeting are defined as items that are additions to current staffing and or service levels, and any capital that requires an increase in requisition or user fees. These include purchases or construction of new capital, the addition of part or full-time staffing position, and changes to programs or services requiring increases to fees or requisition. For the 2023 budget, staff did not receive a mandate from the board. The board has had budget meetings in 2023 and has considered all supplemental requests. After each meeting, the CVRD budget website is updated to reflect the decisions made at each meeting. With the decisions made today, the budget includes a requisition increase of 11.7%. The board will then hold a meeting on February 23rd to review all the decisions that have been made and propose any further changes to the budget before the financial plan bylaw is brought in March. The increase to requisition is described as a total number. However, as mentioned previously, the effects on individual properties varies based on a number of factors, including property assessment and property location. Only the participants in a service contribute to the cost of providing those services. This slide shows the impact of each municipality electoral area of the proposed 2023 budget. In electoral area F and I in the town of Lake Cowichan, the largest changes are for solid waste, general government, and regional recreation. Electoral areas will also see an increase in Vancouver Island Regional Library and planning. In Area F, the average home will see an increase of $150.07. This chart, which is available on the CVRD website, shows how the taxation is broken down by function. In Area I, the average home will see an increase of $116.61. In the town of Lake Cowichan, the average home will see an increase of $137.52. So more information can be found on the CVRD's budget website, and this is the location. A number of detailed schedules are available on the CVRD website, providing total budget information as well as detailed information on each of the services. The majority of the schedules look at changes in property taxes. Parcel tax information is provided in separate schedules. Schedule A represents the changes in tax requisition. It only shows services that have a change and detail the amount of change for that service. Down at the bottom is the total difference between the general tax requisition of 2022 and that of 2023. This does not change for local area services, which affect only specified areas. Schedule B shows the change in tax requisition by jurisdiction. The change due to other jurisdictions column reflects the increase in the library requisition. Also, down at the bottom, the increase in local service area taxes, such as the fire service areas, is on this chart. Schedule C shows a change in requisition going back to 2016. Schedule D has a page for each jurisdiction. It lists only the services that area participates in and shows the changes for the service. Down at the bottom, it includes the local service area taxes applicable for that jurisdiction and the change in those as well. Schedule E has a page for each jurisdiction and shows the impact on the average home in that area. Schedule F is a summary of the short and long-term debt. The schedule on the website has not been updated for 2022 debt, as we haven't finished borrowing yet for the year. This schedule will be updated once year-end has been completed. Similar to Schedule F, Schedule G has not yet been updated for 2022. Finance does not usually transfer funds to capital reserves until the end of the year. This schedule will be updated when year-end funding transactions have been completed. Schedule G has a portion for capital reserves and a portion for operating reserves. Again, this schedule will be updated once year-end has been completed. Schedule 8 shows assessment by jurisdiction for 3 years. The 2023 completed roll is used for the 2023 budget calculations. Schedule I shows how the requisition for an area is split between the property classes, and there is a schedule for each electoral area and municipality. Schedule J shows the cost of a $100,000 home and shows the portion of the total assessment represented by each area. Schedule K, parcel taxes for sewer and water systems are shown on this schedule. And user fees for sewer and water systems on Schedule L. It is important to note that an increase in parcel tax or user fees for a service does not necessarily mean an increase to the property owner. In many cases, new properties have been added to the service areas, thus increasing the total amount collected without having an impact on individual properties. Those are the detailed budget schedules available on our website. We also have more specific detail on individual services. For each service, there's a summary sheet. It gives a description of the service, lists the amount being requisitioned for 2023, the maximum amount that can be requisitioned if applicable, and shows the split between the participating areas. This is followed by the proposed 5-year plan for the same function. And then lastly is the budget detail from our accounting system showing the actual expenses for 2020 and 2021 and the budget for 2022 and 2023. And all of this can be found on the CVRD website. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tracy. I hope you found that presentation to be informative. A lot of information to take in, obviously, and we hope that if you're watching this video that you'll take some time now knowing where to find maybe the information that you're most interested in. But as always, and as Tracy said, please do send emails with any questions or comments around this to finance@cvrd.bc.ca. And certainly tune in to the special board meeting on February 23rd, where the budget will be considered once again. Yeah, so and again, thank you for your time and attention and interest in our 2023 budget, and yeah, please share the video if you think you have any neighbors or anybody else who might be interested in learning more about the CVRD's 2023 budget for the west end of the region. Thank you, Tracy, and thank you for watching the video.